Good morning, girls, and welcome back to a new video. I am just finishing up my morning routine. I've had my lemon ginger tonic, my protein coffee. Now I'm just having a greens with creatine, and I just did a full sweep of the kitchen. And for today's video, I wanted to chat with you girls about transforming our mood, especially as moms who are dealing with hormonal shifts. And I had this epiphany for this video because last week I was in a place where I could not, for like 48 hours, I could not snap myself out of feeling completely flat. I felt defeated and flat for 48 straight hours. One, I was in my luteal phase. Two, I had said yes to way too much when I needed to take some things off my plate, and it was not healthy. One, for my mental health, my physical health, my nervous system, and especially for my endocrine system. So during those 2 days, even when I felt on edge and I felt like everything was working against me, I had this moment where I thought, you know what? There's a video in this. There's a video where I am putting in so much work right now to pull myself out of this funk that is due to absolutely a hormonal shift. And all of the work that I'm putting in to pull myself out is going to be helpful for somebody else, hopefully for many other people. But even if only one woman could benefit from the tips that I'm going to share today, then this is all worth it. So I'm excited for today's video. I know that you're going to get a lot of inspiration out of this, and more than anything, practical and applicable tips that you can go ahead and put in your back pocket and have with you during those times when you're feeling like, oh my goodness, this is something bigger than me. My hormones, whether you are postpartum, whether you're in your luteal phase, you're in perimenopause, you're heading into menopause, regardless of what hormonal shifts you are experiencing, I know that you're going to find value in today's video. Made a beautiful ginseng tea. It is definitely my hyperfixation lately. But one of the things, and I talk about this, lots and lots of new faces, by the way. Welcome so much to my channel and welcome to the community. But for those of you who've been here for a while, I talk about this frequently about the mornings and how I was never a morning person. I was somebody who could sleep until noon until I had my son. And then once I had my son and I went back to work, I quickly realized that I needed my morning time. So this morning, you already saw me have my lemon ginger tonic. Mornings are sacred to me. So I am not innately a morning person, but the shift of bringing in a morning routine over 10 years ago now has dramatically changed my life and ultimately has dramatically shifted who I am, the type of mother I am, and the type of human I am by having this morning routine. So getting up in the morning, having my lemon ginger tonic is one of the most beautiful ways to support your detox pathways. And the lemon ginger tonic, I always say, is probably the thing I am most known for on the internet. And it's a drink that I've been making for nearly 15 years. And it's something I have every single morning on an empty stomach. First thing, I drink this warm, not hot, but warm. And what this does is that it flushes our digestive system, it revs up our metabolism, and it flushes part of that phase 2 detoxification in our liver to really pull out that bile that our liver has been working all night long to detoxify. So when we wake up first thing in the morning and we have this lemon ginger tonic and this beautiful morning routine, it allows us to show up with a more stabilized energy and like our feet are planted firmly on the ground. So if you feel like you wake up in the morning extremely fatigued, there could be many of reasons for that, but let's just say you wake up in the morning, you feel fatigued, you feel moody, and you have zero patience, I would encourage you to establish a beautiful morning routine, and hopefully one that includes the lemon ginger tonic, so we can really help pull out that excess estrogen that may be lingering in your body. Also, if you're new here or if this is one of your first encounters with me, aside from making content in my actual day job, I'm a clinical and functional nutritionist. And there's something that I wish all of us knew prior to motherhood, and that is that hormonal shifts don't just happen once a month during menstruation. They are consistently and constantly ebbing and flowing and shifting. We talk a lot about cycle syncing here on my channel and inside my membership area, Living Well. And we talk about the importance of understanding your different phases. So whether you are in menstruation or your follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and luteal phase. And so when we can understand that we are a different person during different phases of our cycle, whether that be our luteal phase where we have that short temper, like I talked about at the intro of this video, the reason why I'm showing up and making this video, or menstruation phase when maybe we're a little bit more emotional, or a follicular phase where we've got a ton of ideas and energy and we're organizing and cleaning, or our ovulatory phase where we're really sociable, communication is really clear and concise for us. So these shifts are on a continuum, and it's not just happening once a month. And I truly wish that more women understood this, and now hopefully are beginning to understand this, because it helps us show up with a little bit more grace. So in your 30s and your 40s, you may feel as though these hormonal shifts and changes can definitely be more of a pattern. So whether that's moodiness, feeling those mood swings, anxiety, extreme fatigue, and one that I see a ton in my nutrition practice, and that is trouble sleeping. So these things begin to creep up in our 30s and 40s. These shifts and changes tend to come with the shift in estrogen. So if we have elevated levels of estrogen in our body, this can in turn look like irritability, breast tenderness, heavier periods, or quite simply just feeling overstimulated all of the time. If you can relate to any of those symptoms, let me know in the comment section down below. So I see a lot of elevated estrogen. Another thing I see a ton in my nutrition practice is low progesterone. So low progesterone is especially common in postpartum, or if you are somebody who is under chronic stress, because I always say cortisol and progesterone are on a seesaw. So if our cortisol levels are really high, that means our progesterone levels have no choice but to be extremely low. And progesterone is our body's, I say, like nature's Xanax. It's what helps us feel cool, calm, collected. It's that beauty hormone that runs through our body. When we're chronically stressed, we can notice that our face can look caved in, our lips can begin to shrink. Things just aren't blooming and blossoming. And that typically comes from, again, being nutrient devoid and or postpartum, or having chronically high stress, and we're on that seesaw. So if we are experiencing low progesterone, it's most definitely impacting our sleep, because progesterone is one of those hormones that is extremely necessary for deep, restful sleep. And it can help prevent us from constantly feeling like we are on edge. And then for my girls who are in perimenopause, coming up on menopause, or even postmenopausal, low testosterone is one that I am seeing on a near daily basis. So when our testosterone drops, one, it's harder for us to maintain our muscle, gain our muscle. It's hard for us to stay motivated. Our libido completely vanishes at that point, and we are often left feeling flat, like just flat all around, especially when it comes to things that you would generally feel excited about. If you feel flat on a consistent basis, then I would highly encourage you to get your labs done. And girls, if you ever are curious about getting your labs done, that is absolutely a service that I provide in my nutrition practice. And by a service I provide, I mean the number one most popular service that I provide. We pull your data, we take a peek under the hood. I say we get a really great glimpse of what's going on. And if your testosterone levels are low, you are going to have a debilitating time climbing uphill, trying to feel motivated, trying to feel excited about life, trying to maintain your muscle or even grow muscle mass, which is so important for women as we age. So if you're interested in my lab services, I will have those linked in the description box down below. But kind of running through this list, this is typically the top changes, hormonal changes that I see that impact our mood. And so I thought it was not only important to show you the things that I do to really elevate my mood when I'm going through these hormonal shifts, but to explain the why and the how and the reason why these shifts are happening and how we can go about supporting our body. You girls are so smart. Everybody in this community is such a incredibly intuitive and smart cookie that I know that when you have that additional knowledge and insight, it's easier to apply the key learnings and to remember, like, yeah, I am feeling a bit flat. Maybe I should give that topical testosterone or progesterone a try that Jessica recommends. And I will have those linked for you in the description box down below. I also have a completely free complimentary ebook of how to use topical hormones. These are all natural herbal based topical hormones, so nothing that you need a prescription for, but I do have a completely free ebook on how to use these because they are unbelievably powerful tools, especially when we use them correctly. So I hope that once you understand these shifts, you can kind of stop blaming yourself. You don't have to blame your body. You don't have to blame your lack of motivation on you feeling like you're lazy, because that's quite simply not the case. I know you girls, I know you. You are not lazy. You are somebody who's here. You're showing up for yourself on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's just a lemon ginger tonic and a ginseng tea and a beautiful nourishing dinner. That is an extreme amount of work and accomplishment that you're getting in every single day. So you're not innately lazy. You are not somebody who easily gives up. What happens is we are forcing ourselves to show up in the same capacity day in and day out. So I want to encourage us to work with our body rather than against our body. And that's why in today's video, I want to show you the easiest ways that you can do that and the things that will really tremendously help. Little bit of an outfit change. I switched out of my jeans into some cozy sweatpants because we are going to head out and get some steps in. This is definitely a two-prong approach to really transforming your mood. So first things first is nourishing our nervous system. So we have the ginseng tea, we're taking some deep breaths, we're checking in with our body. And when you nourish your nervous system, it works cohesively to support healthy cortisol levels. And as we spoke about, healthy cortisol levels ultimately help your body to reduce and deduce stress. Then syncing up your workouts to your cycle is so unbelievable for helping your body and proper hormonal shifts. So as mentioned, last week I was in my luteal phase, which is actually what inspired this video. So this week is menstruation. So I'm not looking to do really intense HIIT workouts during menstruation. For me, during menstruation, I like to do gentle stretching and long, extended walks outdoors. Getting that vitamin D into my eyes, looking up indirectly at the sun, not directly at the sun, getting that fresh air, getting that movement is incredible for cycle syncing my workouts right now. And for my previous tip, nourishing my nervous system. So a really great tool that I like to use is I take a magnesium breakthrough. This video is not in collaboration with Biooptimizers, but I like to take a magnesium and then I head out and I get some afternoon steps in. And so all of this collectively works together to deeply nourish that nervous system and you're more in tune with your cycle, you then can begin to honor your body and your movement to line up with what hormonally will help you feel your best. So if I really tried to push myself right now to do a super intense workout, it is not going to be beneficial for my energy, for my mood, and my overall hormone stability. So it is critical to not only pay attention to how your workouts make you feel, but how cycle syncing your movement can be a huge improvement. As you can see here on the screen, I have a graphic that shows some really great ideation and ways that you can cycle sync your movement. And as I said, it is menstruation for me. I like to get at least 12K steps per day, regardless of where I am in my cycle, but especially during menstruation and during my luteal phase as well. I don't really push myself. And last week, I did not get out as often as I needed to. I wasn't able to tap into this beautiful synchronicity of movement, and I paid for it. I really did feel that my energy was being impacted by that. So today, I changed into my cozy clothes. I'm going to get outdoors. I'm going to get some fresh air, and I'm gonna get that movement in. And it's going to help me overall transform my mood during hormonal shifts. And I just wanna encourage you girls to just be aligned and in tune. It doesn't mean that you need to follow this verbatim, that you have to only move in this capacity or only eat in that capacity. I do have an entire playlist of what I eat in a day based on my cycle. So follicular phase, ovulatory phase, luteal phase, and menstruation. I will have that linked for you in the description box down below. But you don't need to follow these things verbatim. Take what you need and leave what you don't. An 80-20 approach is always the best way to support your body. But for me, today, shifting my energy, shifting my mood, I put on some clean, cozy sweatpants that I had just washed this morning. It makes me feel nourished, as silly as that sounds, right? Like I know I'm supporting myself. It really calms my nervous system because I've done something, crazy as that sounds, but I've put on something that's comfortable, that I feel cute in, that's crisp and clean out of the dryer earlier today. I'm going to take myself out on a walk. I'm going to hydrate and take my magnesium before that. These little things are just acts of self-love, acts of self-care. Call it what you want, but these tiny little micro adjustments absolutely transform my mood and transform the way that I show up, not only for myself, but for my family, my friends, my community, showing up for each and every one of you. And I felt that last week when I didn't do these things. I didn't feel like I showed up as my best self. And it's okay. It's okay for all of us to have these moments in time, but recognizing it and then taking action when and where is necessary to support your body is something I would highly encourage you to do. So let's go downstairs. Let's take some afternoon supplements. I'm going to take my reishi. Reishi is such a good one if you are a busy mom, a busy lady, a business owner, somebody who is a teacher and it's the end of the school year. Kids are getting a little squirrely right now. You have a high pressure job. Maybe you're working in a medical facility. Maybe you're working in a hospital facility, or you're a first responder. You're a stay-at-home mom, whatever it may be. Reishi is probably one of my best kept secrets. I feel like I haven't talked about it to the length at which I really feel like I could do it some justice, but reishi is chef's kiss when it comes to really helping your body feel calm, cool, and collected. That with a little magnesium, some water, and a walk. Girls, absolute chef's kiss. Ready to hop into the shower, which is something I do every single night. I cannot go to bed without taking a shower. It doesn't matter if I've been out with my girlfriends for somebody's 40th birthday and we get home way later than any mother should get home. I still hop into the shower. I cannot sleep without that. And that is my final tip, is that bringing in a consistent nighttime routine, similar to our morning routine, is so beneficial for our hormones, because as we've been talking about the different types of hormones, so whether it is estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and of course cortisol, all of these hormones signal to our body how to respond to our circumstances and our environment. So in the morning, when we go outside, we look up into the sky, indirectly at the sun. That signals to our body and our circadian rhythm that it is morning time, and to produce that healthy bell curve of cortisol. Similarly, in the evening time, when we turn down the overhead lights, we turn on lamps, our lights on a dimmer, it begins to signal to our body that it is evening time. And so I'm somebody that when I'm cleaning up from dinner, I love to make a beautiful tea to help my body start relaxing. So whether that's peppermint tea to help with digestion, spearmint tea to help with overall hormone balance, lemon balm tea for nervous system regulation, so kind of like we just talked about when we went out on our walk, really supporting that nervous system with mindful movement and cycle syncing our movement. But I like to make a tea to help my body start to unwind. And so I sip on my tea as I'm cleaning up the kitchen and getting things put away from dinner time and doing my evening cleanup. I then come upstairs and hop into the shower. Some nights it's the car wash shower where you scrub, buff, and polish everything. Other nights it's just a quick shower if I'm not washing my hair and I just need to get into my pajamas and be cozy for the night. But either way, my body knows and fully recognizes these cues and that it's time to begin unwinding. And so when I'm lowering the lights, I'm reducing my blue light exposure. I'm signaling to my body with the tea, the shower, and the supplements. But as I do that, my body begins to produce melatonin, which we all are aware that melatonin is indeed a hormone, and it is a naturally occurring hormone that is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of cortisol. So we don't want our body pumping cortisol in the evening. We want to do everything in our power to start relaxing. So maybe it's diffusing some relaxing essential oils, maybe it's lowering those lights, making that cup of tea, hopping into the shower, putting on clean, fresh pajamas. It supports our nervous system, and of course it supports our mood and how we react to hormonal shifts throughout our day and our days. Regardless of where we are in our cycle, having a strong morning and evening routine are going to be extremely beneficial. So I think it's imperative to kind of bring something in, but it doesn't need to be an intense routine. It can be your shower, a little bit of skincare. Maybe you pop on your red light therapy mask as you crawl into bed and do some reading and relaxing. Whatever nighttime routine works best for you. I like to look through my calendar, make a little bit of a to-do list, get everything out of my brain onto paper, onto my phone, but blue blocking glasses are on at that point so that it's out of my brain and my brain is not reeling and thinking about what I still have lingering or what's on my list tomorrow. But it can be as complex or as simplistic as you need it to be for you. These are your hormones. This is your energy and your mood and your routines that we want to support. And I want us to take an individualized approach. I, of course, hope that you find a ton of inspiration of what I share today. I hope that it makes things click and make sense, why we feel these shifts, why we feel these changes, and what we can do to be proactive versus reactive to these hormonal shifts that can sometimes blindside us. And so you're never alone during these times. As I said when I opened the video, last week inspired this video. The amount of emotions that I was experiencing, the highs, the lows, just was such an indicative reflection of me not supporting my body in the way that it needed to be supported. Whereas if I stick to my routines, I hydrate properly, I get out in the sun, sync my movement to my actual phase, things just click and flow significantly better. I always say Our hormones are our superpowers. And when we can learn to harness these superpowers, we are truly unstoppable. I can absolutely promise you that. They are our friend, not our foe. At the end of the day, they can make us absolutely unstoppable. So I hope that you girls enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you found some inspiration. I hope that you learned something new and you're taking away a couple notes that you can apply next time you're not feeling your best, or you're feeling like you're in a rut and you need to just kind of snap out of it. I hope this video is that video that you reference to help you find how to get from point A to point B and how to keep making those steps and move forward. So if you liked today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click. That way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.